All right, Shalom Yasharallah. Before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, the teacher ever well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Back another video, another lesson. All right, the title, this one is going to be called, and quote, "For they say and do not." This is going to come from a video, all right, of IUIC. This off Instagram. All right, now they're going into Leviticus, all right, 19 and 17. And I want you to listen what they say. All right, let's get into it.
17, get me the verse. Let's read the entire quote.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
So your neighbor. Could you read the neighbor part, Yuri?
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
So your neighbor, Emma, is the children of your people, is your brother. I was never taught that. I thought my neighbor was everybody, anybody. But Yuri, you got to read it again. Read it again.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
So, as they read the scripture, okay, you know he didn't deal with the rebuke part. All right, because why? Rebuke to them is hate. So let's actually read that, though. Let's actually go to it and read that. Because rebuking, that's showing love to your neighbor, which is your fellow Israelite, which is right about that. This is Leviticus 19. If you hear noise in the background, yelling, that's my neighbors, so forgive me. Leviticus 19:17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Who is your brother? Your fellow Israelite. All right, we don't hate IUIC. We don't hate ISBK, Sakari. All right, we don't hate BOW. We just doing what the scriptures say. All right, calling you out on your doctrine, and we're rebuking, reproving. Hopefully, Lord willing, you get it right. But if not, that's on you. The blood is off our hands. Leviticus 19:17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart, which is your mind. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. You see? So it says rebuke. And that word rebuke, all right, is yacha. Yacha, to prove, decide, judge, rebuke, reprove, correct. So we're correcting you, giving you the right correction. All right, but what do they say? Oh, you hate you. Every time, the apostles or one of the brothers, the bishops, the elders, they go get on IUIC or any other camp, they say that's you hate your brother or you showing hate. When the scriptures say you're supposed to rebuke your brother and not suffer sin upon him. So this is actually showing love. We're showing love by telling you that you're going off. We're showing love by telling you that, hey, your doctrine is not right. You see that? The NLT says, do not nurse hatred in your heart for any of your relatives. Confront people directly so you will not be held guilty for their sins. All right? And we confront we're not in person, but we confront them on their doctrine. You see that? We tell them, hey, you're going off on the mark of the beast, you're going off on a name, or you're going off on a hell doctrine, you're going off on a new moon, all right? Going off on a lot of things. But what they say, oh, you hate your brother, oh, you hate us, right? Let's get Proverbs 27:5. And it says, highlighted for you, probably hard to see. Proverbs 27:5, open rebuke is better than secret love. So it's better to openly rebuke your brother than, to not say anything, and just let him, do what he do. You say you love your brother, but you got to correct him. We need correction. We go off sometimes. So our brothers, they have to correct us. We got to be corrected, Salaki. But yeah, like I was saying, rebuke is part of, it's part of being in this truth. You're going to get rebuked at one point. It may be a small rebuke or maybe a big rebuke, but it's a part of it. But these other camps, they say that's hate. They're the get along gang, But when let GMS go off, all camps gonna do a whole video. You know, we're gonna do a whole video on Great Millstone and the affiliates, right? But when we get on them, oh, you hate us, you showing hate. When the scriptures say to rebuke you, to reprove you, you know, and that's really showing love. That's showing the Lord sees that as love, you know, because if he didn't say anything, he would just let you be. Which means what? You're a bastard, and we don't want to be bastards to the Lord. All right. Let's get 2 Timothy 4:2. It says, I started, when I charge thee therefore before the Most High and the Lord Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. It reads, preach the word, all right? Be instant, in season, out of season, meaning what? Whether it's warm or it's cold out there, you're going to be, you know, you got to be out preaching the word. It says reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. It says reprove and rebuke. I mean, you're going to get corrected. Let's get reprove. It should be the same. I believe it's the same word. I'll play it.
Strong's G 1651. Elegho.
Elecho. It said to convict, refute, confute, generally with a suggestion of shame of the person convicted. By conviction, to bring to the light, to expose. So you're being exposed for your faults. All right. Like for the past couple years, you know, Great Millstone has been exposing the faults of Alazar, and you see the end result of it. But he's still a demon. All right, he still didn't want to get it right, but the Lord's going to deal with him accordingly. You know, to reprehend severely, chide, admonish, reprove. You're gonna get cursed out. All right, but that's love, though. People tell you, I mean, and this goes for ourselves as well, man. You know, we say these things, but when it come across us, we may get in our feelings some type of way. But you gotta remember, this is shown as love, man, because they don't have to say anything. They can just let you go on your own path of destruction, right? But when they say something, that's showing love. You know, and we're men, right? So you can't get all your feelings and sorry for the for the words, but you can't bitch up, man. All right, can't bitch up, can't start crying, and we men, man. All right, and a lot of guys in this thing, they can't take rebuke. Now, like I said, this goes for myself as well, man. When it comes around, I gotta be the same way. I gotta take the rebuke and keep it moving and change your ways. You know, you gotta change. You just can't get rebuked and then don't change it. Don't change it. Nothing changes, right? So it's a reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. That's what we do. Starting with the apostles, bishops, and elders on down, man. Brothers rebuke. They get on other camps. We get on ourselves for first and foremost, right? It says, this is 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai is in you, except ye be reprobate. So we got to examine ourselves first to see if we're right, see if we're in the spirit. All right? Before we get on somebody else. All right? But that this comes along with it. When you come in the truth, you're going to get cursed out, you're going to get rebuked. All right? And like I said, that's shown as love, man. But these other camps, they don't see it like that. They say it's hate. You hate your brother or you hate your sister. Showing you that what they clearly don't read the scriptures. All right, they don't read. This Titus 1 I started 10. It says, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. All right, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. And that's money, greedy of gain, right? If we can get that real quick. Filthy lucre, gain, advantage. All right, a gain, lucre. I'm probably saying it right, all wrong. Money, especially when regarded as sordid or distasteful, or gain in a dishonorable way. And that's in these camps, they get this money in a dishonorable way, man. Selling t-shirt fringes, All right, you'll say, how is that dishonorable? We're not supposed to, sell the truth. Buying, selling breakdowns, selling, Hebrew prayers, right? You got to pay $10 for a Revelation 13 breakdown. You get half of it, but for the next, you got to pay $10 or $20 for it, right? Verse 12, it says, one of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Cretians, all right, are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. So it got to be sound in faith. That's why they get rebuked. That's why we all get rebuked. So we can be sound in faith, But like I said, these other guys, IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, they take it as hate, They take it as hate. They think we hating on them because they getting, money and, women, which we don't care about that. Brothers got wives. Brothers got jobs. Brothers got, brothers got money. Some got less, some got more, but we got what we need, man. We don't care what you have. We don't care about this world. We ready for this world to be done away with, and a new heaven and a new earth to come. That's what we waiting on. So it says, wherefore rebuke them sharply. You're gonna get rebuked sharply, man. Let's see what the NLT says. Verse 13. This is true. So reprimand them sternly to make them strong in the faith. And that's to make you strong in the faith. It's to correct you, give you correction, not to hate on you. Yeah, you're gonna get teared down, but you're gonna get exhorted, like we read in 2 Timothy 4:2. You're gonna get exhorted, you're gonna get built back up. So we can't take rebuke any type of way, man. All right, and we gotta first and foremost rebuke ourselves. Watch ourselves when we do. 1 Timothy 5:20. All right. I'll start at 17. It says, concerning elders, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. And that's why we say, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, because they labored, since they came in this thing. It's starting with Elder Apostle Tahar on down. Elder Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Rakal, Elder Apostle Ramlab, the bishops, and the elders who came in 2007, 8, 9, 10. All right? They labored. You see? So we give respect to the elders. You got a lot of guys who don't give, Sakari, for example, they don't respect the elders. They want to do their own thing. Verse 18, for the scripture saith, thou shalt not muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn, and the laborer is worthy of his reward. It says, against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses. Them that sin rebuke before all, that others may... So I can read it again. It says, them that sin rebuke before all, that others also may fear. You see? So it says, them that sin rebuke before all, everybody. Brothers want to do videos on you. So that it says, why? That others also may feel like, damn, I don't want that happening to me. Let me get myself right. You see? It does something to the congregation. That's an example to not what to do. But it's for that brother also to, acknowledge his offense of what he did and correct it. All right. So yeah, you won't get rebuked hard, sharply, but it's not because we hate you or they hate you. No, it's to correct you. It's showing you love and to make you stronger in the faith, man. And like I said, this goes for me as well. Because we can forget these things and man, you may get your own like, man, they must hate me, But it's not like that. That's those demons trying to get in your head, man. But IUIC doesn't hold up to this this scripture. They follow the laws, but they don't follow that law. They don't rebuke nobody. When other camps go off, they don't say nothing. But when Great Millstone does something, they doing video. All right. So they don't hold up to that standard. And really, they hate, they hate their brother, which is, a Great Millstone. They hate the apostles, bishops, and elders. They call them bums, grapists, saying they're like little kids, Well, us, because I'm in Great Millstone too. So they say that about us. But they aim it at the apostles, bishops, and elders, man. And that's not right. You hate your brother, So they say, it says the title what? For they say and do not, and they don't do it. These are the Pharisees, all right, back again today. You see, and that's where I got the title from, Matthew 23. And verse, I'll start at 2, saying, I'll start at 1. Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. So Yahushua is saying, they know the law. Whatever they tell you to do, do it. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. They don't even do. They don't practice what they preach. So, and IUIC is the same way. Now is there elect among them, of course, but the Lord's gonna bring them out. So I just want to bring a little edification out on that real quick. So rebuke is a part of the doctrine. You gonna get people take it as hate, but it's really love, man, and we gotta remember that. So Lord willing, us was edifying to you brothers and sisters out there. We gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and citations to those for elect. Lord is edified, and the video I'm gonna say, Shalom.